Thank you for joining us on this journey through the Marvel Cinematic Universe's Infinity Saga. This is your one and only spoiler warning for any of the movies in the saga. If you have a strong desire to see any of the movies before hearing about them from two regular Dans, turn this off now and go watch those amazing pieces of cinema. Then come back here and listen to our take, because we have a lot of interesting takes. We always discuss the current movie, but the stories here are so interwoven it's almost impossible not to talk about the future movies in the franchise. So, again, this is your one and only spoiler warning for any of the movies in the Infinity Saga of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This is also your one and only adults-only content warning. Our aim is never to offend or alienate, and everything we say should be taken with a grain of salt. Please refrain from taking offense to our comedy. We're just here to discuss the current movie and have fun. Enjoy!
Beep, beep, boop, 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 boop. Testing words. Hello. Hi, Dan.
Hey, how's it going, Dan?
It's pretty good. This is Discussing Dan's. There's two of us. Watch out. It's called Entertainment and You, How Pop Culture Shapes Your World. Our mission statement is to keep a vague and open dialogue about how science fiction has affected pop culture as viewed through the eyes of two Dans in their 30s.
Limited time.
No topic is too off topic, and no opinion is wrong. We're doing a little something special. A little special sauce. We're watching all 22 Marvel films, and we've got fun notes about what we liked, how the whole woven timeline thing works out.
What we took from it post this whole saga.
Because it was a crazy saga. I don't think any directors have tried to do anything like that before, or any studio, so it's worth talking about.
Yeah, it's awesome to see. Well, I mean, in the cons category, I want to say I don't know what I think about serialized movies. It seems like, maybe it's a show now. It's but
it does feel that way.
But on the positive side, these are fantastic films. 99% of the time, I think that they're great standalone films. Even I think that. That the cohesion between the directors throughout the whole saga to make them feel like they're part of the same thing was astronomical. I think that is a way to guide directors, yet give them enough freedom to make their movie.
Yeah, a lot of opportunity Disney opened up with having several directors direct multiple different types of movies. They brought directors back, of course, but it's really interesting to see it all woven together.
Yeah.
Today we're discussing the first one, the one that started it all.
Bum, bum, bum.
Good old Iron Man.
Bum, bum, bum.
That's right. Starts out on the Humvees. It was a great opening scene, especially in 2008 when the movie came out, directed by Jon Favreau. He did a great job kind of encapsulating a little bit of America's leftover fear from 7 years prior.
It's funny that it could be copy-pasted from the war from back then to the war that's starting up today.
Today, yeah, and still the one that still was going on for a while.
Yeah,
so
we really like the Marvel movies here, so we just kind of want to keep it in theme.
Like keep the wars going, just so the Marvel
believability.
It's still relevant, and it's all the justification I need. Please continue with your endless wars. Anyway,
but Tony Stark is, as this movie starts, a great flawed character. It's shown that he cares a lot about wealth and being the flashy salesperson that's easy, walking over selling the stuff like it's nothing.
The engineer's son, super smart. He's got technical prowess.
It gives you the montage of how genius he is. He built a super fast car at the age of 7. He's
like a supercomputer at the age of 15, all that stuff. Yeah, cover of Forbes magazine.
Right.
We're watching his intro right now. He got bombed in that Humvee, but now they're doing a 36 hours earlier kind of thing.
Right, which I love. I love that how they build that whole tension, and then
this is who we're talking about. We're talking about Tony Stark. So very well done. Cool to see Jeff Bridges.
Oh my gosh, yes, Jeff Bridges,
the dude.
We're talking about the dude here.
And I'm sad to see the original Colonel Rhodes go in the later movies. I did like actor name.
Yeah.
Place actor name here.
He brought a lot of attitude to it, but I like the later one better.
Don Cheadle?
Don Cheadle, that's right. Yeah.
I know Don Cheadle. I gotta look up this guy's name right now.
But he brought. I like the chemistry he had with Robert Downey Jr. He had a lot of good back and forth when he was on the plane. When he was like, "I'm not have time to drink," and then like it flashes to a second, 30 minutes later.
Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard. Yeah. Terrence Howard. Yeah.
I did like that, yeah. And then he's getting into it. He's like, see, when I look at the people in their uniform, I know they got my back.
Right,
we all know the drunk guy like that who gets really into whatever he's into.
Yeah. He's totally serious and off, like standoffish, not sober, but give him a couple drinks and he's leaning on your shoulder.
Yeah. I did like that they... just looking at my notes, they had the Iron Man music. Actually, we just segued just now on the video playback to him in the casino playing craps.
Yeah.
And that's the Iron Man theme is being played as like casino-style music. Rhodes is coming up, expressing his anger.
The lack of receiving the award, right?
Yeah. He doesn't care. It's clear this guy is a chauvinist.
Yeah. During the montage, they showed... like a different Howard Stark. I think there's 3 actors that have played Howard Stark. No,
I think so.
I think it's the guy in Iron Man 1 here, and then there's
another one in Iron Man 2 during the video playbacks, right? Like when he's watching his dad telling him that he loves him or whatever.
No, I feel it's the same guy in... No, it is a different guy in 2. In 2, you're right. It's the guy that we see in Endgame. He's the guy that was... was onto him on the army base, or not onto him. He was blind to his espionage.
Clearly doesn't recognize his own son, his own unborn son as an adult that he never met. What an idiot!
What an idiot! Yeah, but that was another one, and then in Iron Man when they see Howard Stark as a young kid, he was betrayed by that. Dashing guy with a mustache. He was flying the plane for Captain America.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. He's in Captain America.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
it's kind of cool. Go through the eras.
Right.
But they definitely couldn't have... he's talking to Ms. Brown, or Yale, or wherever she went to. Definitely couldn't do the chauvinistic type of character that he is now. Like, if they made this movie now, I don't think they could get away with him being as brash of a male.
This actually goes into what I'm saying is they're introducing him as flawed. They're introducing him with a lot of problems.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true.
So I think that's a part of the character arc, is that he's womanizing.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
You're supposed to see it as a character flaw. Whereas he gets the girl in the end.
Sure. Well, he gets the girl and Pepper.
And Pepper, yeah. He gets the trash and the...
Yeah, right. Pepper knew about it. Yeah, I don't know. That's weird, I guess. Yeah. I guess everything changed at that dance because Tony asked her for a dance, and she's like, "Oh, people are seeing us dance, and we're outside now, and now there's a thought of maybe us kissing, and they don't, but there was something." And he brings it up.
This is also after his post-traumatic stress, so one could argue that.
Right. He's a changed man after that. That makes sense. Check it out.
Yeah. That's cool seeing.
I love seeing him whenever he's holding a cell. Any kind of technology. He's Tony Stark, like.
Yeah.
And especially after he makes his suit, then it's like, why do you even have cell phones? Make your own, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It just seems all.
Especially in the later movies, he's like talking to his glasses, and his glasses are like displaying heartbeats and purchase history and shit like that.
Right, exactly. So
holding a Nokia is like,
I have to get to work at a Tonka truck or something. It's just not right.
This is like building blocks. What am I doing?
Right.
Even his house is like super smart.
Right, exactly.
Just yelled at the lady for trying to get to the.
I just can't see him buying a Nokia or whatever.
Like a Samsung TV or something.
Yeah, I just can't see it.
If he did, he'd probably have a flash drive with Jarvis on it and just install him.
Yeah, I'm gonna flash ahead.
Oh, I liked that Happy and in my notes I have Happy and Tony seem to frequently race. So they're trying to get to his appointment
airport,
at the
right?
airport.
Yeah.
Oh, I seem to lose you back there. You did, sir.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I can only imagine he's Robert Downey Jr. does a great job at portraying the carefree, rich guy who's used to getting his way.
Getting his way because he's usually never wrong. I think is what. Yeah, that definitely kind of promotes your ego quite a bit. As when you're, look at that piece of shit phone.
Yeah, right.
Some LG sliding button. Ooh, those buttons.
That's what I'm saying. It's so unnatural to see any kind of plastic device in this dude's hand, like.
Especially after watching the whole saga, you're like, yeah,
right. I can't imagine it. But, yeah.
But even going from this one to 2, where he's like throwing holographic displays in the air and making elements and stuff.
Yeah. So now we got to get back to the 36 hours event, and he's got the the electromagnet is put into his chest to keep shrapnel from falling into his heart.
Ugh, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
Can't even try and fathom having a hole, let alone something electronic. And not to say anything against where they are or anything, but that thing's like in a cave, like a shitty electromagnet made from scrap.
Made from scrap. And imagine also if he had his. I mean, he can't be much more than a couple days after his
the explosion and
right.
Everything,
his chest would be fucking raw. It would be. It would
be cringy just thinking about it.
He would not be able to move his hands in. His pectoral sternum muscles are messed up.
Yeah. Being able to do a hugging motion or anything like that. Yeah, reaching for stuff. I don't think so.
Yeah, but somehow he's not only mediumly just patting in his chest no problem. I don't know.
I like this useless tear right here. That's clearly
right in the middle of it.
Right over it. Cinema magic. Yeah, we get it. But that is an awful, disgusting wound.
Yeah.
That's humbling as hell.
Right. Yeah.
You can see the fucking fear in his eyes. Ugh.
But he's gotten his priorities set now. He's no longer in a good situation in his fine $1,000 suit, and he's and surrounded by his military.
He's in a cave eating beans with a hole in his fucking chest. Poor bastard.
This guy, the guy in the cave that designs his future moral compass and tells him about his family and all that stuff. They're in the middle of making the palladium ring for the
replacement for his electromagnet,
right? And he's asking him for his name. This has to be
10 days, 12 days in.
Yeah, just going to sleep next to this guy, waking up. Not even wondering this guy's fucking name.
Yeah, he doesn't even ask him at the start. He's asking him when he's got his hands full with liquid hot palladium.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
What's your name? Oh, okay. Fuck me, right? It's Jensen, I guess. You dick.
Jensen, right? Yeah, Jensen. From Cambodia?
Yemen?
Gamoria.
Gramora. Yeah, a made-up town in...
Wherever it's
Blankistan.
Blankistan. Yeah.
This is it's non-specific region. I'm pretty sure they just in the caves in the Middle East is how they wanted to call it, I think.
And I believe also this is where they start. Oh yeah, with the other bad guy, the bad guy behind the bad guy. He has 10 rings flags in his background. The
bald guy.
Yeah, the bald guy with the glasses, right? Yeah, he's the bad guy behind the bad guy. The first bad guy is the bearded,
the one who doesn't speak English, who's
right.
The one who they show in the news reports, terrorizing children and punching babies and stuff. Whatever he's doing.
Right. Yeah. That's the immediate bad guy.
the mini boss.
The mini boss. And then what you find out is really the bad guy behind that guy, the guy who gets really scary when he comes in the room, is the bald guy with the glasses.
He speaks English.
Yeah.
He threatens people's mouths with liquid hot
iron
bits.
Yeah. Well,
I did like that. Yeah, like you were saying earlier with his moral. Jensen was basically the forger of Iron Man's moral compass. He tells him, he asks him if he's got a family and everything, and he says, "So you're a man who has
everything
and
but
nothing."
Right?
It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh yeah, I could. And then you could see, in his face that
Right. Yeah.
some of that's resonating a little bit.
Oh yeah, Robert Downey Jr. with his. That suddenly is one of the most interesting things I've heard in my life. Expression that he gets.
Oh yeah. He like emotes.
Yeah.
Like, he has body language with his facial
I
expressions.
think he gets that. Well, I think he's just Robert Downey Jr. is great in the roles that they put him in, but he's really good at that in a different way in Sherlock. If you've seen the Sherlock
I
series.
love those movies. I want them to do a third one so bad.
I hear that's happening, but
Better. Oh, I love those movies. He's so good in
when
them.
Sherlock makes an Iron Man suit,
Travels through time and solves the Thanos problem before it even happens.
yeah. Oh, I like that they. Speaking of Jensen and Tony, the backgammon set. I liked that had washers and nuts, like
Hey, donut pieces. Yeah, what do you know? That's the scene we're looking at right now. It just popped up.
But I mean, it just it's another layer. I mean, they add that they're passing their time not on building a secret cyborg suit, but they're also playing games.
Yeah, they're not just eating and pooping. They're
right.
They're earning each other's trust.
But it's not a perfect backgammon set. Just depth.
Yeah, it's part of the good world building they did with this movie. I think that's one of the reasons why this one kind of set the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe off the way it did. It's because Jon Favreau was probably a huge, I don't know him at all, not to say anything. I hope he enjoys this if he listens to it, but I imagine he's a huge comic book reader, and he wanted to make it feel as real as possible.
Toast.
How do you do that? You make an arc, a character that people can follow, and you build the whole story, the world that he lives in, as real as you can, and still sprinkle in that comic book magic.
I think the weakest thing that I've seen Jon Favreau make is, I think it's Aliens and Cowboys or something. Cowboys and Aliens.
I like that movie.
Did you?
I did. That was pretty good. I mean,
well,
it's what you get. Cowboys versus aliens. It's exactly what you got. They don't BS you going in.
I guess, but I mean,
it's not like Knives Out. And there's no knives in the movie. Cowboys versus aliens. Yeah. You got Cowboys versus aliens.
But I mean, like when people say like, "Oh, nobody asked the Han Solo movie to be made. This is not a story anybody was looking for." I'd say that about Cowboys versus Aliens. I don't think anybody was looking for that story.
No, you're right. I totally agree. But I'm glad I saw it. That's all.
Okay, well, that is something.
I didn't know I wanted it until I saw it.
Okay,
that's what we'll say.
It's got to count for something. Jon Favreau, touche, you got it. Oh, man. I also want to comment about Iron Man, or Tony Stark can be later on seen like building a hot rod. And when I think about him doing anything that is not about making Iron Man suits or obsessing about wrapping a suit of armor around the world, I can't wrap my head around him not working on an Iron Man suit. He ends up making like 42 of those things.
Yeah, 45 or
and
something.
They gotta be complicated. I mean, like...
And if he doesn't have a production facility.
Yeah, right?
It's not like he's going down to upstate New York. And
he's got a lot of work ahead of him. That's just a lot.
Yeah, but he's sitting there fiddling around with a
hot
V8.
Yeah, right.
Fucking plain old
Twisting a wrench. We got time for that. You gotta save the world, bro.
You gotta use plasma and shield technology.
Yeah.
Come on, man. You gotta make a new element in the next movie. Let's get going here.
You gotta up the game. This oil change business gotta go.
And how did he... So when he escapes, right, after blasting all the all his arms.
Ugh.
How does he? Was the sand made of pillows? Like, how does he?
It's fortunate that he fell.
It was a high
his
drop. He plummeted.
There's a lot of missiles that come with a lot of shock absorption. They don't want that. You don't want to mess up the internal innards of a missile upon impact.
He took the gelator out of the missiles. To cushion the warhead when it impacts. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Smart. That was smart of him.
He's Iron Man. He's not messing around here.
So how cool is it that, halfway through the movie we're at 50 minutes and he's still, he had the vision for the mini arc reactor, but he still hasn't really, we haven't seen the Iron Man suit in its entirety yet. And I don't think you actually see it until 75 minutes in. So that's pretty cool to be invested this much in a.
When I've rewatched this movie, what I find the meat of the sandwiches is the build-up of Tony Stark. Mm-hmm. In fact, I generally, I love the movie, I love it, but I will generally find my interest meter start waning once the dude gets in his iron suit. I know the rest, and it's
Q.
Right. It's I guess it's what needs to happen. But I really like the development so much. That's maybe just me, but I like.
No, I completely agree. I think that's why I think the director did what he did.
Yeah, it's really great. That they had this arc reactor, even though it's big, I imagine it produces some energy. I don't understand why they said it's a dead end.
Yeah, and it was done in the 60s or something?
Yeah, right.
A publicity stunt to shut the hippies up.
Yeah, right.
So funny coming from.
It's a giant donut that. Yeah, right. The Seattle 7 had something to say about it. You remember the Seattle 7? That was me. 6 other guys. Yeah, I guess.
Now we got it. Seattle 7.
Yeah. Well, so. I don't understand how that was such a closed story. Oh, we could just have some, free energy in just a little bit. So after that, it's a publicity stunt. Game over. Research done.
You know how much money we make on electricity? We're not doing this. We're gonna build one, and that's it.
You gotta
probably what it was.
You gotta shut up those hippies.
That's probably what it was, honestly. So I was like, wait! You're giving away money now. Hold on.
We'll see. And so look what happens when the engineer pays attention to what the hippies want and really focuses on it, on making something for himself. Solely for himself. In fact, he's really adamant about his arc technology never getting out of his hands later on. It's weird.
But it was for the hippies.
Yeah, hippies are probably still pissed.
Oh man, this is a dated movie. They got that the money guy.
Oh, Mad Money, yeah.
With the sound
sell,
effects.
Sell!
Oh god, I hate that guy.
Yeah.
Sell. Yeah, that guy's the worst. Oh, steals a New York slice. Obadiah bringing back pizza from New York after the board meeting. And when Tony goes to Rhodes, when he's talking about the autopilots, the new planes, that don't have pilots, and as Tony walks up, he's like, "What about a pilot without the plane?" You're like, what's he alluding to?
Yeah, right. That was a good foreshadow. Or good Tony Stark's secret talkie guy
outside the secret box.
Also in that scene, I believe there's that gay joke. That's something that probably wouldn't fly.
Oh, the whole
the New Orleans
spring break
or something.
1982. What was his name? And he's like, "Don't do that. Don't believe that. Don't do that." Yeah, that's some gay jokes that wouldn't fly.
Can't be ashamed of that, dude. Rhodes, come on.
Everybody wants to love, man.
Speaking of this arc reactor, I would say, what makes Tony Stark the special guy that is Iron Man, is that his ability to make the arc reactor. That's something that's the secret that he holds in his hand. But in Iron Man 2, it's like he's way ahead in making the suit technology. I mean, he compares in Iron Man 2 like a whole bunch of different countries that are far away. He even says like it shows Hammer in one of the videos in which one of the guys turns around. So if people are so far away in Iron Man 2, the dude here, Obadiah Stane, great villain name, by the way.
So good.
Obadiah Stane shouted at the I'm not Tony Stark scientist to make him a suit, and they were able to come up with that giant Iron Man that apparently was just strong guy Iron Man, but hadn't solved the icing problem. Was the difference. I mean, otherwise, it was just missing the power supply. It was able to...
Which is funny. And they built it to be compatible with said power supply that they've never seen, said the technology didn't exist, but they built a slot for it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Perfect.
It'll confuse them.
Those are good engineers.
I'm just saying, they're 10 years ahead of North Korea or whatever.
It's also really cool just seeing... It's kind of like watching Batman, I guess Train and the Christopher Nolan Batman Begins when he goes to Ra's al Ghul and he's weightlifting and
montage
fighting on ice. Yeah. The whole Iron Man prepping his suit, that was pretty cool.
Adorably and cute
10% thrust smashing against the wall and the whole robots being all woo.
Yeah, don't do that or I'll send you
some college or donate you or something.
Donate you to science or I don't know, to scrap you for parts.
Let's move up to the...
Ooh.
Oh, you got something?
Speaking of Obadiah Stane, the bad guy, I do like that during the movie you're thinking, it's bearded, non-English speaking Middle Eastern bad guy. Oh no, it's the bald glasses English speaking bad guy that's really the bad guy.
Oh, it was the white guy the whole time?
It's the corporate greed.
The white corporate American? Oh, why did I not see that coming?
I think this is great that they did it. That's great. But yeah, absolutely. It's totally blatant and obvious and should be pointed out more.
And very, very accurate to reality.
Yeah, right.
Very accurate.
Yeah. We all. There's. I can believe that.
I can believe that.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a corporate white guy that's backing the bad guys. Oh, absolutely. I can understand that. Let's move ahead to. Let's get ahead to where Iron Man shows up and saves Gamora, which is A, the town that Jensen was from. B, the town that was on the news. They said.
Yeah.
And it's noted as being a horrifying hellscape.
Jensen,
blah, blah, blah.
Jensen,
so he's from there. They said that, and then it's also when he arrives on the scene.
Yeah,
he arrives in
that's
Gamora.
His first spot. Yeah.
And the mini boss happens to be there.
Yeah. Boss number 1.
Yeah, exactly.
K.O.
Yeah, it was. This is like a video game where you go spend all your time fighting a bunch of little shitty characters to level all the way up, and then you fight the mini boss.
Yeah.
You totally smoke his ass.
Yeah, right. I've spent a couple months just building a gigantic technological suit of terror.
Yeah. I mean, suit of justice. Suit of justice. We don't want to use terror in that.
Yeah. I was mixing with Star Wars, actually.
Yeah.
That's my specialty.
How awesome was that tank gunner?
Oh, yeah! Oh, my gosh! Iron Man is flying, we could say at least comparably jet speed because he was flying next to a jet.
He was at that moment flying from one town to another at Iron Man speeds. Yeah, right. And this tank gunner with, I imagine, 101 millimeter, 102 millimeter size shell.
From who knows how far.
Yeah, hits a target the size of his fucking thumbnail.
Out of the sky.
Right here, yeah. He's
and then
Iron Man targets. He says, "Oh, look, there's the Jericho missile. I'm going to take it out." Bonk. Nope. I get taken out by the world's greatest tank gunner.
Yeah. And then the tanker, I imagine, is like, oh my gosh, they felt 100,
we did it!
100 yards. They can't be using yards. Meters. from our take. Oh my God, what are the odds? Oh my gosh, he's getting out of it.
Getting out?
Oh no, we've angered the Iron Man.
Fire now.
Shit, we missed. Oh my God.
What was that sound? And then you're dead.
Yeah.
He's like, why is he turning around and walking up?
Yeah.
Explosion.
That's pretty cool.
Don't you realize cool guys never look at explosions?
Also, I gotta say, that tiny little rocket that hit and stuck onto that tank to lead to so much destruction really reminds me of in Iron Man 2, Justin Hammer when he gives that whole speech about his Ninth Symphony, that little cigar shaped warhead that he sniffs.
The ex-wife.
Yeah, right.
It'll bust the bunker underneath the bunker you just busted.
Man, he's a sales guy or what? But yeah, that looks a lot like that. Obviously, it didn't do too well for.
I can't wait to do Iron Man 2 because that's probably that's like my favorite scene in the whole all of Marvel franchises. Is watching I can't remember
Warhammer.
The actor, no, Justin Hammer.
Oh.
He was in Moon.
Dude, that guy is so unbelievable.
He's so unbelievably good, just as an actor overall. But in that, him being like that, like when they introduce him at the Stark Expo and he comes out like dancing to James Brown. This guy he puts the ham in Hammer. Like,
right. That foot the ankle motion.
Yeah, him dancing is so good. You're looking up who played Justin Hammer.
Know.
Yeah, I'm really interested. It's gotta be Sam Rockwell. I knew it was. It's always at the tip of my tongue.
Right?
He deserves so much praise. He's so good in everything.
Man. He's really good at his face has some. I mean, he's a fantastic actor. But something about his...
He plays Guy Fleegman in Galaxy Quest.
Yes! Yeah, the red shirt.
Yeah, the red shirt. What's my last name? That's what I thought, man. Knew he was doomed.
Yeah, right.
He reminds me of like a younger Gary Oldman. Like just able to play like any kind of role. Funny, crazy, like dramatic.
Yeah.
He's like
he's
so good.
Something about his face to me allows him to really easily portray a natural kind of desperation, a true desperation. Some I don't know. That's
something about your face. I don't know.
A lot of actors have that.
Yeah,
they have a strong emotion face.
Yeah,
whatever.
I put Edward Norton in that category, and Gary Oldman, and Willem Dafoe. I put them all in that like emotionality category, like able to pliable.
Well, they're all very and I include Sam Rockwell into this. They're very emotive and able to do a wide range. I'm talking about his resting face. I think his resting face is naturally a little bit, or it has some kind of. Yeah, desperation is the word that comes to my mind, which just makes me feel that whatever character he's portraying more honestly.
It's just more depth to his character.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, he's awesome. I love Sam Rockwell.
I want to come up with another actor that has a resting face.
Joaquin Phoenix.
He's got a resting crazy face. He's got a resting. I mean, he's.
But what about who's the guy who's always cast as bad guys in the movie where she fucks a fish? He was the bad guy.
Oh.
He's
a Bond villain, right? Probably. I'm just gonna guess it.
He played no, that was Josh Brolin. He played
No Country for Old Men. He's a guy.
No, not that guy. That is a Bond villain, though. I know who you're thinking of. That is a Bond villain. He plays Michael Shannon. Michael Shannon.
Oh, that guy, Zod in Superman.
Zod, yes. Yeah. I will find him.
Absolutely. He's got his eyebrows
he's like.
Yeah, it's all in the eyebrows, absolutely, or not all, but a lot in the eyebrows. But his face is naturally determination at 110%.
Yeah, curmudgeonly determination.
Yeah.
He's great too. It's a shame he's always cast as like a shit guy though. Every time I see him, he's always playing an evil, angry.
He was
man.
in Knives Out. He was in Knives Out as the uncle that he was
the cowboy hat.
No, he was the guy who ran the factory that ran the factory that published the father's books. He was the one who visited.
He didn't play bad guy in that?
Well, he was Knives Out, so they're all kind of bad guys.
I mean, I could never see him cast as like
he had I think a yelling scene, a surprising yelling scene in which it was like, oh my gosh, he's more serious than he tries to come off as. But that's the thing, he tries to come off as a gentle person initially, which he does. I mean, he's an actor. He's a great actor, Michael Shannon.
Yeah, Michael Shannon. Anyway, back to Iron Man.
Oh yeah,
so
this movie's great.
this movie's really good. But the scientist after Jeff Bridges discovers Iron Man is flying around and everything, he goes and yells at William, the scientist.
That's what his name is. Okay, I call him the bald in future movies scientist or something.
He yells at him for not being able to make something that Tony Stark made in a cave with a box of scraps.
Yeah, you could do a better impression than that.
Tony Stark built this in a cave.
There you go.
With a box of scraps. I'm sorry.
I'm not Tony Stark.
I'm not Tony Stark.
There you go. Perfect.
That was definitely cool, especially when he points at him, his whole tie flips. Oh, here we go. The whole reveal that the American is the bad guy.
The real bad guy, right.
This is it right here. Ooh.
With this crazy, powerful, paralyze you as long as you hear a tone weapon that's never brought up again.
Ever.
Man, would that be a useful thing.
He even says in the movie, he's like, it's a shame they didn't approve this. There's so many useful applications for temporary paralysis. I'm like, yeah, there is. Why would they not approve that?
Yeah. It's just for a personal device. I'll want one. Thanks.
Yeah, exactly. This is a bad guys only kind of device. So I'm going to need to be paralyzed for the plot for a few minutes. So,
yep. Yeah. It was really useful.
Take my AirPods out of my ears.
Yeah. Which are suddenly glowing blue. I don't know if I was to design that thing, if I would say, have them, well, maybe make sure they're working.
Yeah, I was going to say. I was just about to say that. I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, well, maybe just to know that the other person, so they're not like, oh, dude, your card's blue. I know. He's just frozen like, you idiot.
All right, that checks out. Okay.
And then you go and steal his lunch and drive his car home and stuff.
This whole weapons progression speech that happens here about how arrows allowed them to take over lots of countries other than the cannon. They gave a good speech, which is true. But the always your Achilles heel in this region. Come on. Is I would say weapons. That's going to be everybody's Achilles heel.
Yeah. I mean, look at the
not having a superior weapon.
Look at the war on crime. It goes back and forth. So, they get assault weapons, so they get Kevlar vests. So they switch to armor piercing bullets, and then they switch to different tactics. Yeah, it's the same
tanks.
Thing. That's why what always, speaking of like tactics and war and killing each other, what always blows my mind is bandoliers. In World War II, they were those giant sticks of dynamite, essentially.
Oh.
And to get past several rows of trench and barbed wire and whatever the fuck they put in your way, they have several soldiers. It doesn't matter who, because they put them on it's part of every kit when you're doing a land invasion.
Yeah.
That you pull it out, you screw it together, and you slide that bitch all the way through, right? So you blow up your hole through all those trenches and the barbed wire.
Yeah.
You blow your hole through, right? But the fucked up thing is, there were Germans on either side of those, on the left and right side of them blasting through, waiting, knowing that they're gonna blow up and try to get through.
Sure.
Like, the level of thinking in killing my enemy is like it blows my mind.
Yeah, no, it's insane.
It blows my mind. We know
back
what bandoliers are. We know they're gonna blow a path through here. So let's put some guys on either side and just chew them up as they come through, right? Oh man, genius! Oh, that's genius! Like. You guys are so fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just blows my mind.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Have you seen 1917?
I really want to, because I heard it was one continuous shot. I heard the whole movie
That sounds exhausting.
Yeah, and it's not all like one camera, like they mount and they move.
But they're following
but they
people
follow
through.
two guys or something.
Yeah.
I really want to see it, and it's Christopher Nolan, so.
It's gonna be heavy.
Yeah, it's gonna be really heavy. Yeah, it's gonna be heavy. You're gonna hear a lot of Inception sounds. You're waiting for a train.
You know what this movie needs?
But the whole Tony's now enlisting Pepper's help. She's concerned for him, seeing bullet holes in his suit, which I thought was kind of sweet. She's probably been working for him for a while, and
Yeah.
we developed a bit of a rapport with each other, and he's changing his tune. He doesn't want to be an ironmonger anymore. He wants to. Is that a beard comb? That's awesome.
It is.
He doesn't want to be an ironmonger anymore. He wants to prevent.
It's interesting that Iron Man has had that twist of conscience, but it's also, now that I'm thinking about it, just thinking about it for the first time, that means for all the years prior, Pepper was just fine being the secretary for an arms dealer.
The mob wife.
Yeah, right. For a long time, and now mob boss, genius guy, grew a conscience, and she's like, all right, I'll give you a heart statue or something. I don't know, a heart piece.
Tony Stark has a heart.
I don't know. It's she's totally fine with this. Absolute. I mean, great. I mean, but she's probably also just fine with him being an evil arms dealer.
Yeah. It is kind of silly that she takes a stand at that point when all this time. And he does mention that. He tells her, he's like, "You were willing to stand by me all this time."
Yeah.
So maybe he convinced her.
Yeah, I mean, it was because she didn't want him to die, which is cool. I mean, I dig it. That's a reason.
She's practical in her.
Yeah, maybe she was at this job all this time because she really liked Tony Stark and she wanted to be around him. Maybe that was because the relationship does seem kind of forced with Iron Man going with his secretary. I don't know if that's cool. You know what I mean? But I mean, like, that is the case. Or I don't know what her role is. I don't know if it's secretary, assistant.
Yeah.
And then she runs the company. I know.
Yeah, and then she stops running the company, and then I think she starts a foundation or something, because in Avengers...
Goop, yeah.
Oh, God.
No. What do you know? Does she stop?
In Avengers 2, I remember him and Thor both have a conversation about their respective girlfriends who aren't there.
Right.
And he mentions that she's not... I'm pretty sure he mentions that we'll have to watch it in this coming series.
Yeah. Look ahead for that.
That she is running some sort of foundation now what's the word I'm looking for?
America.
On behalf of... Did you scream America? No. On behalf of the Stark Foundation or Stark Company, something like that.
So that means that she's not running the company?
I don't. Well, 2, she does, and then she quits by the end of 2. I just watched it like a couple days ago. And then...
No, he says, "Oh, I figured it out. You're going to run it."
Yeah, he says, "You're going to run the company" in the beginning of the movie. And then at the end of the movie, she's like, "This is ridiculous," after all the hammer drones and everything. He says he has a hemorrhoid attack. Which is funny. He says, "No more." She's like, "I can't do this anymore, blah, blah." I resign. He's like, "Okay." And she resigns.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so she doesn't run Stark Industries. She does at the beginning of Iron Man 2 and doesn't by the end of Iron Man 2.
Interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah.
I thought it was hers. Okay, so and Iron Man 3 is... we'll look at that.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get
I'm getting ahead of ourselves.
I like the whole fool Obadiah Stane with a screensaver trick.
Right.
I would have been like, "What were you looking at?"
What's that USB thing? No, you should have removed it, but yeah.
I mean, when someone's staring at a computer screen, you're talking to them, and they're still staring at it, and you come around the corner, and they were looking at what?
Yeah.
Hot rods on the screensaver? Yeah. You really interested in cars that put that much pepper?
Tense.
Oh, there he goes again. Stealing the golden egg.
With his useful, body-numbing tone.
Yeah, the sound device that somehow somehow can paralyze you.
Imagine how much they could help the people in like Avengers if Tony Stark had that in their suit when they're,
everybody close your ears.
Yeah, jumping into Hydra, right? Yeah, just
yeah. Everybody's
put him in
super veins.
hybrid handcuffs, and we don't have to kill anybody.
Yeah. Maybe the technology died with Obadiah.
Obadiah.
He dies, right? He throws him into the...
Yeah. He falls and then...
Oh, yeah, wait, go back a little bit. You were scrubbing. No. Go a little forward. When he was putting in the... There he is yelling at him, which is awesome.
In a cave
with a box of scraps! Here's the tie flip. It's just boom! I love it. It's so real.
The tie flip. Oh.
He points at him, and during the point, the tie flips up over his shoulder. Woof! It's great.
It's natural anger captured in his tie. He practiced for weeks.
Oh, and what I was thinking about
he got like a whole different tie based on fabric.
He got a longer one, so it caught in the point gesture.
This isn't going to do. I need a longer tie.
Yeah. I thought about all the times he's smoking a cigar and then immediately gets in people's face and talks. And I'm thinking, like, from an actor's standpoint, like, I would have made his ass chew gum or something.
Yeah,
or,
wow.
Oh, my God, you smell like my grandpa. Jesus. Can you take it down a notch with the Cubans right before we do a scene?
He's a wealthy guy. He gets away with it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what you're supposed to take away from it. There he goes, paralyzing him. And Pepper finally catches up with her meeting with Coulson. Oh, which is cool. First time we see Coulson in the whole Marvel franchise. Gets his own TV show out of this, which is pretty cool.
Big hole in his chest. He walks in.
Yeah, he's just has the housing sticking out. Yeah.
So that leads me to a little question, like, does the... is there a magnet in the metal encasing?
And, like, the thing that he puts the arc reactor in? Maybe.
I mean, in later movies, he removes the metal, the rest of the metal bits from his heart.
Everything. He gets rid of everything, I think. Which was an interesting choice, but... And the second one, when he plugs in, like, the new palladium core, or whatever core it was, he gets, like, high on super juice. Oh, it tastes like bananas, or whatever he says.
But it's totally Coke is what he's reacting to.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely... This is Hollywood.
Yeah.
It's clearly just shoved a bunch of Coke in his nose.
Yeah.
But this is a scene that doesn't make sense. So the engineers built everything except the power... for the suit, the iron... What is it called? The Ironmonger suit?
Is that what they call it?
I think so.
I don't know.
Obadiah's suit.
That
and
would
he just
make
plugs.
sense.
He plugs it in like it's a fucking...
Yeah. Plug and play.
Like,
clickety click.
Like that's a standard.
It's even a socket. Yeah, right? Yeah.
And it turns on right away.
He's got balance. He can walk. Not only that, but I laugh about thinking about what he must look like in the suit because I can't imagine his feet are in the legs of the thing. I can't imagine.
I imagine it's a sitting position.
Yeah, he's got to be in like almost Indian style, kind of tied up, I guess, his chest with little joysticks inside.
Yeah, he's a tall guy. I can't imagine he's comfortable in there.
Yeah, right.
Like, did they design it for him, or did they design it for like the average like 5'11" adult male?
5'11". I don't know.
I don't know what the average height is,
but it is funny.
I'm not 5'11". Oh, Coulson's showing up with Pepper to save the day, but oh no, it's too late. Obadiah's got these guys turning it on.
It was a cool added stealth. It was kind of like a reversal of the cave scene where, they prolonged it here because we were feeling for the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents, but once they broke into the cave when Iron Man had first built his cave suit, it was like dark in there, and then he surprised them.
Yeah. He turns his light on, the guy sees him, and then looks up and punches his ass.
Right.
Obadiah does the same thing to Pepper.
Right. With it's all dark. There's chains hanging. Yada, yada, yada. I'm just saying it's a little reversal of bad guy got his suit now. But, seriously, Obadiah cannot fit in that thing. No way, no how.
No, definitely not. Definitely not his legs. The guy's like over 6 foot, and that torso to head area is too short.
even the Iron Man suit, I imagine that's got to compress his body. I mean,
Well, did you see that clip of the real Iron Man guy, the guy with the jetpack, the arm?
I've seen that before. Yeah,
He did a special with, I think, Jon Favreau was there, and I think Kevin Feige was there. But they took that suit. It was basically that suit, and he flew around wearing that suit.
the silver Iron Man suit.
Yeah, and he said the legs don't make any sense. And if you, going back and looking at the movies, he's absolutely right. The way that the calf is shaped is concave, I think. And your calf is clearly not a concave object. But the way the guy said, he's like, it's really uncomfortable trying to stand up straight. He's like, because my calves are pressing against something that is where my calves should be there, and they're not there. It's the suit instead.
Yeah.
So it was, it's definitely, I can't imagine it's really comfortable. I imagine later, the nano suit, I imagine it feels like nothing.
The old Iron Man suit of the comics was hilarious. It was like a trash can with...
Oh, yeah, it didn't have a big, bulbous, cylindrical head with, like, pointy things coming out the sides.
I don't know did it have pointy things?
I thought it had, like, radar or something coming out the sides. Ew, what is that?
I'm going to do Iron Man comic. It was more like this.
Oh my goodness.
This was more like how they drew it, which it was super blocky and.
Well, they didn't have the.
Well, they didn't have
were-
the idea, but I mean, I could imagine a person in that thing more.
Oh yeah, I can imagine a medieval person inside that suit.
Yeah, right. It's basically a suit of armor.
That's for knights.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and the new one, you could tell, is clearly designed based on. So yeah, when they drew that back in the '60s, they knew of the metals they knew of. They didn't have composite materials and all the kinds of shit we have now. Yeah, look at that thing.
It was a lot more straight lines.
It was,
Actually, no, I take that back. It looks like just yellow tights, really.
I was gonna say it looks like.
And red boots.
I don't think he's gonna deflect any bullets.
Yeah, it's. I always imagine it. See, like, unless I see the bulky tank version, and I see the skin tone, I imagine that's got to be compressing his body, or it's like tights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I thought was cool in, what was it, Civil War, when Ant-Man gets under his suit. It's still, you can tell it's still like mechanical and shit like that. But imagine by the time of Infinity War and Endgame, he's using nanomachines, and it probably feels like nothing.
Right, yeah, no.
Pretty awesome.
That suit is pretty badass to conceive of. Though it does, raise, I won't say it's not, without its questions for me.
Oh, of course. We don't. As far as I know, we've made machines about the size of proteins, nothing smaller than that. So, I don't think.
Which is pretty amazing. Have we done a protein size? Oh,
I could have sworn we've at least created synthetic proteins.
Nanomachines.
Nanomachines. All right, we're getting into Metal Gear Solid territory.
Tangents.
Nanomachines. But yeah. The final fight. Wait, did he just grab a motorcycle?
Yep, he used a motorcycle as a bat. That was a pretty cool move.
Wow, what a dick.
Yeah.
So that guy's dead then. The motorcycle motorcycle driver.
God. And it's the rocket launch. That whole scene when Iron Man is running away from the Ironmonger. And
just flying?
Yeah, Iron Man's like ridiculously faster than the Ironmonger. Game over, really. I'll just stay far away from you.
Yeah. I think we can keep this up all day. I'll just keep flying faster than you can catch up to me.
I mean, I guess he's low on battery and all, but I mean...
If he wasn't.
Yeah. Which is pretty crazy. And then it all leads to the icing problem, and Iron Man hits him in the forehead, and Ironmonger falls down to the ground. And Iron Man goes to talk to Pepper, saying, "Hey, I think we're good," and then boom. Ironmonger's there. There's no problem with him having fallen to Earth.
Go back a little bit to after he fell, because you're right. Because Iron Man lands. Okay, yeah. So he does the.
Oh no, this is
still after that. But he lands and he takes his glove off because he's like, okay, he fell to his death.
Yeah, I don't need some chunk of armor anymore.
I'm not going to take my glove off first.
That's a priority.
And then out of literally thin air, the Ironmonger shows back up.
Sneaky, he shows up. Boom!
Like, ah!
What? I went too far back. Yeah, I went too far back. But yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, Ironmonger just shows up after the icing incident, falling to his doom. We don't know how that resolved. If he was able to get his suit back on, I mean, Iron Man had this problem, and he was able to, luckily, barely,
by the skin of his teeth,
get his Iron Man suit back on, and he turned on his jet engine or his gliders, and he was swooped down street level.
With maneuvered between cars.
And this Ironmonger, heavier,
takes longer to gas up, I imagine.
Yeah, right? Falling, twisting ass over tea kettle, however that phrase goes. And he just concludes. We don't see how that concludes. But we have to assume that he righted himself, rocketed those slow to move his giant body engine, righted himself, and then enabled him to sneaky ninja.
Yeah, that's the best part. That's the best part.
Sneaky ninja onto the roof right behind gloveless, maskless Iron Man.
And then he bear hugs him.
Yeah, but he didn't count on the flares.
He didn't count on the flares. This is also the first movie with a sky beam.
Oh, yeah. We'll see a lot of those.
A lot of sky beams in the Marvel
For the rest of cinematic history, sky beams will
There's a bad guy. You can guarantee he went to blow up Earth with a beam to the sky.
It's an omen. It's a problem.
Usually coming out of the New York area.
You know what? Something like that was done in Ghostbusters. Original Ghostbusters. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it was a sky beam. No. Actually, no. What I'm picturing is that big, scary building.
The one that's covered in the
and it was a crazy storm with crazy pink lightning on it. Yeah. But I don't necessarily know that a beam.
Got to get that. When Rick Moranis saves the day. That's the second one, I think.
Yeah, Rick. Second one is almost as good as the first, but not.
I put them. They're equal to me because when I think about them, I'm like, oh yeah, that was so funny. That was Ghostbusters 1. And then I'm like, wait a minute. Oh wait, no, that was Ghostbusters 2.
Now we're on Ghostbusters.
But we're wrapping up Iron Man.
That's true. That's right.
Coulson's telling him to stick to his lines. It's not his first rodeo.
Right.
What does that mean? This is the first.
Who has he talked to? Ooh. SHIELD seems like an older organization than we give it credit for.
Okay, wait. So I got a couple of things about the whole fight. So Iron Man goes to fight Ironmonger in the greater Los Angeles area, right?
Right.
And he tells Rhodes to keep the skies clear.
Yeah.
Rhodes goes to the military. I'm guessing the Navy, the Army, the Marine,
Air
Navy,
Force, yeah.
Army, Air Force, Marines. He goes to all them and tells them, "Oh, it's okay. It's just a training exercise over a civilian area, populated area.
Keep your distance.
Just don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Yeah, okay. Bullshit.
Let local police handle the
yeah. So bullshit. And then he says he never has a taste of this sort of thing. Obadiah, when he's trying to kill Tony on the roof, I never had a taste for this sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I'm deeply enjoying the suit.
Right.
Okay, Mr. Ironmonger, for the last fucking 55 years, never had a taste for this sort of thing.
But now you suddenly want to go crazy and kill. I wonder how long has he been killing people? Probably a while. I mean, I imagine he's probably been doing all of the dirty work of arms dealing that if it became too evident to Tony Stark that he would probably say, "What are we doing?"
Yeah.
Because Tony didn't have an idea that they were being sold.
Maybe Howard didn't.
I would wager, yeah. Obadiah Stane was a stain on the Starks. Legacy.
Ooh, that's good. That's nice. That's nice. He's dead now, so we don't have to worry about him.
He fell into an arc reactor. The fall from the icing problem, not even an issue.
No, but into electricity.
So I've heard in the closing scene for Iron Man that the reveal of Tony Stark of Tony Stark saying, "I am Iron Man," was an addition of Robert Downey Jr.'s. Like, Robert Downey Jr. ad-libbed that on scene, and they're like, "Oh man, we gotta keep that. That's some tight stuff. We're gonna keep that." I heard that. I don't know if I'm wrong, but I heard that. And I can't see it any other way, though. That's what I'm saying, is I don't buy it.
Maybe it was
maybe they ad-libbed it, he ad-libbed it, and then they fixed around it to make it work.
Or maybe he was supposed to say something else, and well, no, because I can't imagine them not putting in "I am Iron Man."
The original, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's the original. I mean, I think it's so set up.
Maybe he was supposed to say, like, "It was me," or something like,
you know what?
"I am the guy that you're calling Iron Man." Like, maybe the line was too many words or something, and he's just like, "Why don't I just say I am Iron Man?"
Maybe the original script was him giving the "it was my bodyguard" excuse, but then it clips to some montage of him becoming buddy-buddy with S.H.I.E.L.D., and that's how the original ending was going to go, was... Because that's how it originally was in the comics.
It was a secret identity?
He passed it off. He tried to have it cover as his bodyguard, and he passed it off on some other guy, I guess. That's how it originally was, and so I thought that's how... I don't know. Maybe I'm going off old news, but I had a thought that was a thing that sold on the rawness or the Tony Starkness that Robert Downey Jr. has, which I don't deny that he does.
No, I don't. Yeah, he was very, very, very well cast.
But, I mean, if he did come up with it, I could see them rewriting the scenes around it to support it. So, I'm just saying, if it was the case that he did ad-lib it, it wasn't unsupported by other scenes.
Yeah.
That's all. It wasn't come out of left field.
So a big shout out to Sarah Finn, who's the MCU's main casting director.
Oh yeah, I've heard a lot about her. Yeah,
she's
the
one who saw Captain America in Chris Evans.
Oh.
She saw Black Widow and Scarlett Johansson.
It's crazy to see the people they were also considering.
Yeah, I know. I've seen the list of some of the people they thought of. I was I can't now thinking about it now. It's like I can't picture anybody else.
Yeah.
Well,
great
skip ahead to
decisions.
the post-credits scene. I actually don't remember it.
Ooh. You know, that's...
Oh, and Stan Lee Cameo?
He was...
Did he play Hugh Hefner? Or
Yes, yeah.
He was Playboy Man.
Yeah. Iron Man called him Hugh Hefner.
Yeah, he was Hugh Hefner.
Yeah, he's like, hey, Hef, like, out of the way, Hef, or something like that.
Yeah, okay. So first cameo, that's cool. Oh, yeah, that's right. So the after-credits scene for Iron Man 1 is Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury.
Samuel L. Jackson's usually in the... Nick Fury is usually in the after-credits scenes. I just gotta say it. He's usually the news dropper.
Usually.
But he was just chilling out in Tony Stark's apartment. They're a little showing off, like, I got past your security.
Yeah.
Right? Which...
Yeah, you hear Jarvis go,
Tony Stark, you're having a problem.
Daisy.
But he's just dropping that there's some more work we have for you. That's cool.
He's just letting us know that there's going to be 21 more of these movies.
We got 21 times ahead of you.
So that was our first foray into the Infinity Saga.
Iron Man 1, a great start. We are still looking for Hulk.
I have not found it yet. But it is the next movie.
I think I'm gonna go ask Ed Norton. He probably has all of the copies.
He's got every
very
copy.
He's very protected.
So the next episode will be a discussion of The Incredible Hulk. Also came out the same year, 2008. This one was by French director Louis Leterrier. So
French directors sometimes surprise you. But I heard that there was lots. I heard he was. That there was. I heard Edward Norton had a lot of his own passion for the project,
Yeah.
which.
I heard he's a very involved. He needs to be more of a director.
Well, we're gonna study up on that
We shall.
and get back to you next time.
That's right. This has been Discussing Dan's. Thank you for joining us. I'm Dan S. as in science.
I'm Dan F. as in fiction.
And you have yourself a scientastic day.
Diddle-doo-doo. Boop.